I'm feeling actually quite good today. I had a little nap in the afternoon because the temperature in the last last days was so high that it was impossible to get any naps in the day. And today I got a little one, so I feel fresher. And I just did a big sail change. Got completely wet, so I got a new T-shirt, and I'm just having a beautiful sunset, which I can see through the window here. So it's kind of, the bright side of the whole trip. The reality is that most days are grim and grey and tough, and it is pretty much a grind to get yourself out of the boat up to the coffee grinder here, and you move only these 3 meters back and forth, and that's your small living space for already 2 months I'm on this. So I don't know how the human mind adapts to all of these things, but somehow it seems it just does it. And now it's just under 2 weeks left, and I'm really keen to get home. In a way, it is a privilege because you are not so distracted. You are very focused on just your machine, just looking after this boat and making the boat go fast and making sure it doesn't get overloaded or overpowered or nothing breaks. So that's totally different from the setup on land where you are always chasing so many goals and sometimes even conflicting goals at the same time. And that makes it also even possible, I think, the nap and the short amount of sleep, that your mind is not so jammed with all this kind of noise that you have on land. It is you, the boat, the wind, basically, and the sea state. Yeah, I grew up sailing and have sailed all my life, and I turned it into a profession, and that gave me the opportunity to spend a lot of time on the ocean in the last 12 years, probably almost half a year, every year, on the ocean, or let's say 100 days per year. This is my 5th time around the world, and so many miles on the ocean, so many days spent on the ocean, and I observed changes, and it started a couple of years back that we started conversations with scientists. So yeah, with just a curiosity about our environment and asking what's going on, and the first thing was that we had a very strange Arctic summer in around the world race 10 years ago, and it took us 10 days longer because the ice situation was so different. We had not enough food, so we were starving, and that's a kind of an existential experience we went through. And after that, scientists said that, yeah, this special thing is likely to be correlated with climate change, different ice drift, different wind patterns in the south. Everyone thinks about the atmosphere, but really the oceans are the cornerstone of this whole warming. They absorb most of the heat energy, 93%, and a lot of the man-made CO2 mitigate climate change, but at the same time it acidifies the oceans, and also the increased heat changes biological systems like coral reefs die, and again, that's much more important, of much higher importance than most people in the general public appreciate. So that's why we made it a bit our mission for this adventure, also to sensitize people, to carry the message, and also to help science by measuring the level of acidification and CO2 uptake by the ocean. Yeah, as I said, oceans take up a lot of CO2, of the man-made CO2 as well, and that's a natural thing that is good like that. There has to be CO2 in the atmosphere and in the ocean, in the Earth system, but with our man-made climate change, we can see now how much this increases. Like past data of vessels in this same region here They measured 40, 50 years ago. They measured 320 parts per million CO2, and now it's 400, 418, 420. I can see the digits from here on the instrument. So the same increase that we see in the atmosphere, we also see in the ocean, and it goes pretty much parallel, these two observations. But to observe it in the ocean, it's much more difficult because you need a quite elaborated machine that consumes quite a lot of electrical power. So to really get precise data is almost only possible from vessels, from boats or ships. And around Antarctica, where we say the Vendée Globe, there's no commercial shipping. So this trip was a unique opportunity to get a whole data set around the world, but especially around these remote regions where no one else goes. Well, I think everyone loves the sea. We have kind of a deep connection with the sea. Life comes from the water, comes from the ocean. The first life came out of the ocean, and our human body is made to 90% out of water. So there are all kinds of reasons, also romantic reasons, why we love the ocean. We love to be at the sea, to see the waves, to listen to the waves, and globalization and trade, all that is connected to ocean and sailing. But still, we live with our backs to the ocean. Still, we have a huge deficit in understanding the ocean's role for our life on the planet. I think in general, we don't have ocean education in schools. We have geography, yes, but we never get really taught in school what the oceans do for us, what they mean for us. And so I think UNESCO is calling this topic ocean literacy, trying to bring the ocean to the schools, to educate the young generation in particular about the meaning of the ocean for us, our life, and the possibility of a positive future. Many people say, well, the kids, the next generation, they will care about all this. I don't think like that. I think we have to care now, and we are under huge time pressure. We are in a race against time. We are in this famous race that we must win. But the kids go to their parents, I find very often. And the parents, big company leaders, they sometimes do public statements where they say, well, my daughter asked me about what we do as a company, and so on. And so then I took the decision to change this and that. So I think kids have a tremendous impact on society and a tremendous voice if they speak to their parents. Yes, absolutely, Cyrill. I always said 80% of the outcome of this race is determined before the start. So we did 4 years of very meticulous preparation of 11 transatlantic trips. One was a Greta trip, so that was also, part of the motivation for the Greta voyage was gaining extra experience with this boat, back and forth, of course, across the Atlantic. And all this pays off now that we collectively as a team understood each screw, each little nut and bolt on this boat, and changed the ones that were too weak, and made it all work, and that shows fruit now. The boat is still in good shape, and I'm still safe, and I can still go at full potential, and that's the fruit of 4 years of work of the whole team, and that's a fantastic journey that we went on together. Also, everyone was motivated at work during this time, because we knew we are preparing a spaceship that has to be perfect and that is orbiting the globe, and there's no room for error, and that is a very, very special and privileged work environment to have this combination of a fascinating challenge, but also the pressure of perfection and absolute excellence. And this is something that my team achieved, I think, in the preparation of this boat.